Okay, we should be live. I think could be. I'm gonna rush this here, getting the stream set up. A little bit short notice. We got a tornado warning here. This is in Louisiana, and this actually has a decent area of circulation right in this area. And right now, we're not seeing a tornado on the ground with this. Just that rotation is pretty darn close to trying to produce one. They're near South Toledo Bend and Toledo Haddons over here in Louisiana, and also Monk's Hammock Monk's Hammock needs to be in their safe spots as this storm approaches. We just had actually a tornado on the ground with this northern tornado warning over here near Ida. As you can see, there's a little area of rotation, but that tornado has since lifted. Once I saw that, that's when I started to rush to try to get this stream going, because we've had some areas of rotation and some things that kind of look like tornadoes, but that's kind of the first one, at least that I've seen, that was definitely a tornado on the ground there. And we have multiple areas of circulation here, kind of just to the north. Let me see. Actually, that's like just around the border of Texas and Louisiana, actually. Just crossing into Louisiana as we speak. What a wacky polygon. I mean, it's doing its job, you know. I think what we're dealing with here is maybe some NWS, kind of limits here. You got probably an NWS down here near Lake Charles and another one over probably in Texas somewhere. And they're probably waiting on an NWS to kind of complete this warning here. If they do, we'll see. I mean, they should, in my opinion. I mean, that rotation was pretty strong earlier, still is decently strong here just to the south and west of Toledo, pushing off towards the north towards 192. I think that's what it was. No, 191 there into Louisiana. Eventually, he's going to try to make it up there towards Many, Louisiana. Been watching radar all day, waiting for a tornado warning. Yeah. And I was a little busy. I definitely had doubt for today, but it seems like this storm is trying to get organized. A little bit more organized here recently than it was before, that's for sure. Whatever, do a video on how to read various radars. Yeah, I think if we got like a big downtime, that would definitely be something that I would consider doing to like fill in the gap. I don't think that would be a bad video idea. I mean, a lot of our weather forecasts are pretty educational as they are. So yeah, still a little bit of rotation here, right here. And I'm noticing a little thing popping up here. I don't think that is a tornado. It's not a strong enough signal to be able to confirm that just yet. But still want folks north of Ida. This is actually about to cross into Arkansas, kind of the extreme southwestern portion of Arkansas, heading towards Kibla, Doddridge, Smithville, and Canal. All of you guys need to be in your safe spots there. And as you can see, we have two tornado warnings right now. Let me turn on warnings. I finally got my warning program to work. So we're going to be testing that out as well on today's stream. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. I'm a little bit apprehensive, I would say, for the next couple of days to come. It seems like we're going to have a long stretch of severe weather over the next week, maybe even going into the beginning of April. So, it'll be interesting to see, what days I'll have to take a break and what days that we can like push through, because it could be a lot of coverage. We'll see. Oh, there we go.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
A new tornado warning has been issued here. That's going to be for Toro and Claire and Raton. You guys all need to be in your safe spots. Yeah, seems like. Okay, special weather statement. That's not necessarily correct. Maybe I should take special weather statements off. I wonder if that. My program definitely got that warning faster. The one that the programmer actually coded and the one that I've coded is a little bit slow. Still hasn't popped up yet. Started pouring in H-Town. Okay. Yeah, still waiting on that latest radar scan to come in. Let's come back down to here near Many. Yeah, looks like our rotation's getting a little bit. Let me see where this radar is actually. Yeah, green going towards red going away. So yeah, our rotation's still here, pretty broad circulation still as that pushes up towards the north and east. Still pretty broad. So it looks like it is weakening a little bit as that continues off to the north. Do want to check in on some of these storms? Yeah, not a whole lot of rotation up there. Check back down to the south here really quick. We do have some storms going through the Houston area right now. These are the ones that are getting the special weather statements on them at the moment. There's not a whole lot of rotation, thankfully, down there with that storm. So, not really expecting anything overly concerning there. Let's go see if we got those new velocity scans in with this. Yeah, looks like this storm is starting to kind of die off here, just to the west of Ida. That pretty much any of these supercells in and along this area, they have been trying to exhibit some rotation as they travel along 49, Highway 49 there. So it is still worth keeping an eye on. And also, a lot of these storms as well have been trying to do some rotating as well. Doing good. Glad you guys are doing good. Hopefully, none of you guys live in this area. How many people we got in chat from the Louisiana area? Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome. Yeah, no new scan just yet. Yeah, the new WeatherWise app just dropped. Look at this. Nothing too cool there, but I mean, it's a globe now. What else was there? Oh yeah, this 3D radar, so we can do this now. Is it cool? Kind of, I guess. Am I ever going to use it? Probably not. Anything bad yet? Yeah, we just had a tornado on the ground with this storm just a moment ago, but this one is in the process of kind of dying off here for now. We'll see if it tries to re-intensify as it moves into the southwestern portion of Arkansas. As we zoom out here, you can see that's that portion of Arkansas where some of those storms are moving into. We'll have to keep an eye on them. Not really sure if they're going to try to reorganize and get that rotation back going. But if they do, we'll certainly let you guys know. Also, some upper level rotation is starting to develop here just to the east of Mansfield. But as we go closer to the surface, you can see that's not quite making it down to the surface just yet. We got a new severe thunderstorm in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Is that accurate? Oh my gosh, it is. The heck? Wow. Yeah, I guess this one's been going on for a while. No, it's not where I was expecting it. I thought my program was off. That's why I laughed. But yeah, 1.5-inch hail with this storm with max wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour, heading towards Matoa, Atkinson, Hollyoak, Superior, Parkland, and Superior, and also just south of Superior. There's like 3 cities of Superior here. Not which one, I'm not really sure which one of these are the Superior city, but this one seems bigger. Let's go check. Yeah, so that is some ping pong ball sized hail. Watch out there. That's just south of Duluth. It's gonna be going into northern Wisconsin. And so we just got a new tornado watch on the northern portion here. That's going to be for Shreveport, Greenwood, Benton, Carthage, and Marshall. There we go. Now the sound's working. Texarkana gonna get hit. Where is Texarkana? Yeah, I mean, you guys are kind of close. You got a storm over you right now. What's going on up here? These storms are doing something a little funky here in Arkansas. Not really sure if that's a legitimate signal, but I mean, to be honest, we just really don't have any radars in that area. So I really couldn't tell you. I mean, this is our closest one, and it is indicating that we could have A couple of areas here of rotation. I'm not really sure if that's, rotation aloft or near the surface. Really wish we had like a radar over here near Prescott. Your tracking in its past doesn't look like much. What are you talking about? I think the tornado watch will be in effect for Texarkana. Let's see. I think this one was issued. Yeah, you guys aren't necessarily in this tornado watch. But these the last tornado that happened was technically not in a tornado watch either. So they, depending on how far north this threat actually gets, they might start issuing tornado watches a little bit further up to the north. So I wouldn't completely rule out tornadoes there in Texarkana. Yeah, we have 2 tornado warnings right now. One further down here to the south. That's over here, but our rotation has been pretty weak on the past couple of scans. Maybe a new couple of areas we might need to watch here, and also a little bit further to the south as well. Down here, we got a couple areas of rotation trying to develop there north of 63, just to the west of Anacoco, there in Louisiana, that we got to keep an eye on. Yeah, still looking good in and along the Houston area. Just some rain and showers for the most part, some lightning. About to head into Baytown and Galveston. Just got warned in Benton, north of Bossier City. Do I see anything? Benton, north of Bossier City. Where is Bossier? I don't know where that is. You talking about Arkansas? Isn't that Arkansas? I don't know. East of Shreveport? Yeah, there's no warning east of Shreveport. Just some rain. But some of these storms further down to the south could eventually make it up there. So, I mean, I wouldn't let your guard down. You guys are, yeah, you didn't just get a warning. You got a new tornado watch. Yeah, I see Benton now. OCR. How do you pronounce that, by the way? Just wondering. Yeah, latest scan on this northern tornado warning. Still very weak rotation there. Further down to the south. Yeah, still a couple of areas of rotation to keep an eye on down here. So we're still gonna have to keep the broadcast going here. Beaugier. Beaugier. Really? Beaugier? Is that right? Is that French? I feel like I would have to say that with a French accent. Beaugier. It's almost like bonjour. And thank you, Luis, for subscribing. Thank you so much. Still looking good up here. I mean, these storms could maybe try to do something again. So even if that tornado warning expires, we'll still probably come up and check in on them. But as of right now, they're pretty weak. And these storms still look somewhat suspicious. I can't really tell you though what's going on for certain there near the surface on those guys though. We'll see. We'll probably get some of these tornado warnings to expire here shortly, if I had to guess. I thank you, Valenius, the cat, for becoming a Wimdy member. Welcome. Yeah, we see you. We see you, Rockets. I'm interested in what our environment is looking at like out here. So let's go check it out. So it does appear like we have still around 1,000 joules per kilogram out in this area. Checking our lower level shear. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. 35 to 40 knots of lower level shear here into Louisiana. That wind is coming straight out of the southeast up into the northwest. A little bit parallel on our shear vectors, but upper level shear is almost non-existent. This is mainly just like a Kind of its own little thing here. Check our surface observations. Yeah, decent dew points. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most tornadic environment ever, but I mean, I definitely understand how some of these storms are rotating. Tell you what. And the one that was tornado warned here further up to the north is kind of dying off. But we got another new circulation here now north of wait, is that it? Is that right? Just double check. Where's this radar is? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got another circulation over here north of Hayden's and another one south of Hayden's. These ones further back to the west are kind of still struggling just to the east of 82. That's kind of the only main areas where we're seeing rotation. Power outages are likely. Not really. We're not really dealing with much damaging wind or even really a hail threat. It's just mainly just going to be rain and thunder with a small chance of tornadoes. One is observed. Yeah, this one was on the ground a little while ago, but it has since lifted. So they just haven't changed the wording on the warning yet. It's not on the ground anymore. Hopefully those folks are okay. It looks like our southern tornado warning was allowed to expire. Good news. And I think this is going to be our main area here, though, where our rotation is going to be centered. Or now, I mean, that's kind of where some of our best overlaps are in some of our kinematics. Now, right out in this area near Leesville, we got 40 knots of shear just kind of sitting here waiting for these storms to kind of go into that area if they can, which would not really be that great. South of Shreveport, we're still monitoring this area of rotation, but again, it's still not making it really that far down, close to the surface there. What was I going to do? I was going to do something. Oh yeah, let's bring up I guess we can try to bring up some cameras. I don't really think this is going to be a great storm to track with cameras, just given the fact that there's so much rain. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt if we had a couple. Oh, just to delete these links after every stream. I forgot for that. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got going on. Do we have anything near Leesville? We do not. Of course, that's the thing that always happens with these storms. Always happens. You always just get storms where the cameras are not. Hey, thank you, Caroline or Carolyn, for the $10. Newton, Texas fan. All right. You guys heard it here. We got a fan in Newton, Texas. Let's go. Guess we'll get something in Shreveport. Oh, we'll put one in Bossier City. Bossier. Not sure how helpful that's going to be. It's probably just going to look like a murky mess, but maybe it's going to look like spilled cereal out there. But all right, we did that there. Yeah, that looks like just straight up spilled cereal. All 50 states we're aiming for. I think we have subscribers in all 50 states. All right, latest scan down here looks like our rotation is still present there near Haddon's, but it's still relatively on the weaker side. Not quite escalating just yet. Might help me with cams later. Yeah, I mean, if they actually get into range of some of these storms, I mean, we could technically, if there was theoretically a chaser out here, which I don't think there is, unless the chaser just happens to live in Louisiana. Oh, a little bit more rotation here. Looks like we got another quarter-sized hail warning up there in Minnesota. We'll go check on that right after this. Maybe a weak tornado there. They're near Doddridge. They might extend this severe thunderstorm warning a little bit. I mean, this tornado warning a little bit further up to the north. And if that rotation tries to get back going, would not surprise me. Either that or they'll let it expire and then bring it back. Let's come back over to this singular storm up here in Minnesota. And it's literally all by itself. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it looks like it is still tracking to the south and east. Still carrying that 1-inch hail threat and not really too much of a wind threat. So they did bring down the hail threat by 0.5 inches. And again, we're still talking about the same areas. They just kind of updated the warning to 1-inch hail. Yeah, still be indoors and away from windows. It's going to be a loud storm. It's kind of crazy. These are winter. I think these are winter. Yeah, ice storm warnings and winter storm watches up here. I wonder if any part of this storm has got like snow in it. Yeah. What the heck? According to the radar, this is like an ice. There's like ice in this storm, but that should be mostly hail. There could be like icing happening near two harbors and snow happening near Grand Marais, and we have that severe thunderstorm warning over here towards Superior and Parkland. That's a pretty interesting. Was there a confirmed tornado? Yeah, there just was a confirmed tornado with this storm. And it's trying again. It is got a little bit of rotation. I'm still not like super concerned about it. That might be something there, but it's not strong enough of a signal to really be able to say anything for certain. But it is trying to pick up that rotation again. So it might be tapping into that shear environment a little bit. We might have to keep an eye on it. Let me see if we got any cameras maybe near this storm. It's near a highway. We might be able to. We might have some traffic cameras into Arkansas, somewhere down there. I doubt it. Maybe. Oh wait. Oh my goodness. There's actually a camera like right next to this storm. Silly kid. I'm a silly kid. All right. Let me get this. Here we go. See, it's right in that tornado warning. Actually, this might just be to the south, but we'll see if we see anything. Yeah, another camera that just looks like spilled cereal. It's super murky. Like we're in a lake and a bass just kicked up a bunch of dirt. Can barely see anything. Storms are hidden behind that murkiness, behind the rain. I mean, there's something back there. I mean, is that the storm? I guess that you could consider that the storm. Yeah, that might be the storm that's coming behind this storm. It's 35 degrees in Duluth. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's what we always look for when we're looking for severe weather. It's 35-degree temperatures. For Sunday night, nah. I mean, I'll be honest. On my forecast, I think I got baited by the SPC. I mean, I still have low confidence on, I think we're going to have some widespread, significant, severe weather, but I'm not seeing, I think they put a little bit too much faith into the NAM model. I mean, there might be a brief, stronger, conditional, strong tornado threat, but I mean, in the SPC outlook itself, it said strong tornadoes, potentially long track tornadoes possible, but that just really doesn't show up on the models too well. So I'm not seeing what they're seeing is what I'm saying. So I got a little bit baited by it this morning. I was a little bit too woken up, I think. Not woken up, I guess is the better word. But I do think, a substantial storm is coming. It's going to be widespread. There's going to be a widespread threat for potentially significant winds and some hail, especially further down to the south is where that hail threat's going to be. Further up to the north, it's more going to be, there is going to be a tornado threat up here, but it's only the NAM model, which is showing, strong enough shear to really support a more widespread tornado threat, like in terms of like strong tornadoes. But there's not a whole lot of models that agree with the NAM at this point, so it's still kind of an outlier. And I think that's what the SPC used for their day 3 outlook, and it's really not smart to use the NAM this far out. Hey, thank you, Sister Sabota, for the 5. Thank you so much. Howdy from Greenville, Alabama. You have family in Louisiana, so you're keeping an eye on it. Love your commentary. Thank you. I appreciate that. Try our best. No storm chasers live right now? I don't think so. Honestly, if there was a storm chaser live right now in this area, I'd be impressed. I'd be impressed. Let me check. I did, guys. I have been working. You guys have no idea. I've been thinking of plans after plans to increase our availability to storm chasers and cameras. We do have an announcement. We did lock down the Mississippi the Mississippi has cams, so we can use them. But it's at an hourly rate, so we're going to be using them very strategically. But it's affordable. Yeah, looks like we got another new update up there near St. Louis. Probably changed the or not St. Louis. What am I saying? Near Duluth. They probably changed the warning Polygon a little bit. Yeah, they're just continuing it. Train spotter 402 quarter-sized hail. Hail accumulated depth of 1 inch of hail. Wow. Measurable hail on the roads up there south of Duluth. So continue to be indoors and away from windows. Looks like all of our tornado warnings has expired. Let me go ahead and change the title real quick. What do y'all think of the new program? Have y'all noticed it yet? I should, Jace. Yeah, let me hop in my car real quick. Drive 3 hours to look at some rain and some lightning. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even if I lived in Leesville, I wouldn't chase this. I'm not one of those chasers that likes to go into blind. What the heck? That camera just went crazy under me. I'm not one of those chasers that likes to drive into blinding rain and hope I just run into a tornado. Not gonna lie. That does not seem fun to me. So yeah, even if I lived in Leedsville, I wouldn't even chase this. So but there still are some broader circulations out here. None of them are really tightening up like they were. And that one area of rotation that was coming into Arkansas here has kind of died off. But I mean, the thing is that the environment is still technically there. Okay, so it's not like it's not like we're seeing any big changes in the environment yet to where I'm going to be like, okay, we're just going to stop seeing storms spin up altogether. So still think we need to be weather aware here, as we have already had potentially multiple tornadoes today. Some of them were unwarned. The one that was up here near Vivian was warned, thankfully, but you know, layout. Oh, I can show you. Here, let me. I coded a new button on it, so I can go to the last warning. This thing, it pops out the severe thunderstorm warning, and it shows the quarter. It shows the hail with a little video underneath it, showing you what kind of hail is on it. Shows the hail on there. There's still some things I want to change about it, but I'm just kind of testing it out and seeing if it will run smoothly and be accurate. It's been doing pretty good over the last couple of days. First time watching this channel. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully it's a little bit of a change of pace. We're a lot chiller over here. I mean, it can get intense, but we kind of up the intensity of our wording and with the tone that I use, depending on how the storms are doing. Yeah, latest scan here, still have a little area of a rotation near 49. Let's come back over to this traffic camera. Sure, we have the latest look here. That storm, we might bring these. Let me bring this camera out in front of this. I mean, it's all going to look the same, but we'll bring a camera a little bit further up to the door. Yeah, I mean, even if there was like an EF5, I don't even think we'd see it. Even if it was right next to us, there's just so much rain everywhere. It's like you're not going to see anything in this kind of weather. So, if you're out in this area, I wouldn't be like, if you're at a tornado warning, this is not the kind of day to be looking for it, because you're probably not going to see it until it's right on top of you. Trying to find out if this is a better desktop app than Radar Omega. It is. It depends on what you want. If you want that more nerdy thing, more nerdiness in terms of the models, and I wouldn't even use Radar Omega. Radar Omega doesn't even have a very good model suite to it. Yeah, sometimes, a lot of times, the radar is behind by quite a bit. A little area of some sneaky rotation trying to develop here south of Raton. Gonna keep an eye on that area. It's these little areas embedded in this line that just keep on trying to spin up down here. So we got to still continue to watch this area. But yeah, Radar Omega is really not that great of an app. It used to be pretty good, but something that's happened. They're not updating their infrastructure or something. I don't really know. And it's routinely behind. And now we have two little areas of rotation. One over there on 49 here in southwestern Arkansas, and another one back over to its left. We still gotta watch those little areas. They're not very strong, but they could spin up. Environment is technically there. Now this is weather-wise. You can see it right there. But the radar is always on time. It never is 14 minutes behind like Radar Omega, but it doesn't have models on it yet. But I've talked to the developer. Models are coming soon with this app. A lot of things are coming. Things that you would just never like. I wish they would just go ahead and add it. One of the features that they're going to add, and I hate having to say it, but it's just the coolest thing. It is just the coolest thing. It is going to change weather communication forever. And it's going to be super cool. And I think it's not going to be a feature just for nerds. I think every person that has ever been interested about weather is going to find out that this app will be a gold mine for everything severe weather. And I can't say much more than that without ruining it or giving it away. But I'm telling you guys right now, this app's going to be real cool. Something you've never experienced before with a weather app. That's all I can say. I know what's coming. I wish I could tell you. By the way, I'm not sponsored by WeatherWise, so I'm not just blowing smoke at you guys. I'm not sponsored. I don't do sponsorship, so I've talked to the developer of this app, and he is smart, super smart. And and I've given him some of my ideas as well, what I want to see in radar apps. And it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool. So just wait, it's coming. It takes a while to code some of these things, but it's gonna be really cool. Cameras and locations of Storm Spotter, how to contact them, and how to contact them if you see something. Yeah, it's really cool. They're really going all in on that weather communication and being able to see the storm in real time. Yeah, over here near Parkland, Hawthorne, Lake Nebagamon? Okay. Brule, Iron River, and Mason here in Wisconsin. You're now under severe thunderstorm warning now for 1-inch hails. The main threat, just continue to be indoors and away from windows. Not really that dangerous of a storm as long as you're indoors. You will hear some plinks, though. Plinks are coming. Tons of plinks. And planks. Plinks and planks. This app seems super quick. It's nice. I didn't even realize it. Because personally, I used to be a Radar Omega enjoyer. And I never really whenever I would be live is when I'm usually looking at the radar the most. And I never realized just how far behind it was. A lot of the time. And so when I started using WeatherWise a lot, and then I would also have Radar Omega up for questions on the background, and then I would go to Radar Omega, and then I would look at the velocities, and it was like, holy crap, Radar Omega is behind 14 minutes on radar. Like WeatherWise is showing the radar right now, like Radar Omega would be like back here in comparison to that's a big difference. I mean, you can miss an entire tornado in that time. And so once I realized that, it was like I've never touched the app since. It's just not a reliable app. They haven't fixed that problem. They haven't even done a public statement about that problem, and that's a bad problem to have as a radar app. You got to be able to get that up to date minute by minute radar information. radar scope does it, weather-wise does it. There's no reason why radar mega can't do it, other than it just kind of a I don't know. I don't know why that's so difficult for them to address. That's been a problem for a while, apparently. I've talked to some radar scope users, and they're like, "Yeah, this has been a problem for about a year." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I've been using Radar Omega for a year, not even realizing just how far behind some of the radar scans were." Like, that's dangerous. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, there could potentially be a lawsuit there. Not gonna lie, but I, that sounds like something that shouldn't be possible. Hey, thank you, Bucky, for being a member for 1 month. Have I watched the Netflix and Joplin doc yet? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that Netflix documentary about Joplin, that was super intense. Super intense. Like, there was this one guy that actually got sucked. Like, the car got sucked up into the air, and one guy got pulled out of the car into the Joplin tornado, which, by the way, was an EF5 violent tornado. So not only did he get sucked into a tornado, he got sucked into literally the worst kind of tornado, and he survived. It's crazy. And his story was just like it was like the epitome of survivor story. He, one, survived. Two, when he was in the hospital, got a fungus infection that happened because of the tornado. You know, sometimes they mix up and bring up a lot of bad stuff as it goes over, lakes, and sometimes it can hit sewage and it sucks all that in the air. And then, it's not common, but you can get fungal outbreaks after, especially the bigger tornadoes. And this was one of those fungus things that, like if you don't remove part of the body where the fungus is on, it's going to kill everything anyways. And so, like, they had to remove a bunch of parts. Oh my gosh. And he survived it all, and he lives to tell the story. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, all the stories, I didn't even realize just how intense that was. Okay, we have a little bit more of a concerning circulation now to the south and west of Forian. This is really just south of Many, Louisiana. A little bit more concerning there. No debris signature right now, but if that continues to tighten up, they're going to probably throw a tornado warning on it. That was insane and disturbing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, in terms of like a worst case scenario, that was Joplin. And, you always hear like the news stories about it. And I bet you there's like thousands of more untold stories of that storm that are probably not as intense, but, pretty darn intense. And it's just like there's like a whole community was affected, and a lot of times sometimes people don't realize that when like, these bigger tornadoes happen, and like the underneath the radar, there's like a whole city, and like there's actual human beings that are like in a house and the tornado's hitting it, and they're experiencing that, and the stories that come out of it. I mean, I've interviewed a couple of people after tornadoes have gone through an area, and it's always just the craziest freaking story that you've probably heard in real life, like not from like watching like a Netflix documentary or some documentary about another thing, like actually hearing it like in real life from a person. It's probably one of the some of the crazier stories would have ever heard. It's pretty intense. Even some of the weaker stories, especially with those trailers and stuff. Like if someone's in a trailer, like the beginning of the Gaylord tornado was only an EF1, but it killed two people in a trailer park. And the stories out of that area were super intense because a trailer, it's basically like if you live in like say you live in like a suburban neighborhood and you got like one of those really well built houses, like an EF1 can do to a trailer park what an EF5 would do to that kind of neighborhood. And so it's just like complete and utter destruction. There's like nothing left of most of the areas, just pile of house and people, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And it was relatively weak, but that's the thing. Trailers are just dangerous. It's more dangerous to be in a trailer. And yeah, there's a lot of injuries, mainly because of that beginning part of that tornado right there in that trailer park. It was really sad. I remember it was like a day after the event. I was walking around helping with cleanup first, and I remember walking by this dude, and he was just standing there staring at his trailer. He was just blank faced staring. Because like it's not just his trailer that it was affected. I mean, that's all of his neighbors, right? Like, that some of the people that might have died might have been somebody that he's talked to a bunch or was maybe a friend with, you know? Yeah, it sucks. Tornadoes suck, is the bottom line. Yeah. The latest scan here, still 1 inch hail on this storm, heading towards Poplar and Maple, Hawthorne and Lake, Nebagamon. Still, a lot of that hail is going to be here in the pink, where we see a lot of the pink into this storm. That's showing some greater intensities there. Let me check the VIL just to see. Yeah, that kind of aligns with that pink area there. So, yeah, that's pretty accurate thing to be looking at if you're worried about the hail up here in Wisconsin. Let's go check back in with that rotation, see if it's doing anything more. Weakened a little bit, but it's still technically there. Let's go check back up to the north. Yeah, a little area of rotation here still associated with this storm. So, yeah, still worth keeping an eye on these storms. They're not really rotating too much right now, but that's kind of what happened earlier today. I mean, we didn't really see too much happening until that lower level jet kicked in, and then we've had potentially maybe even more than one or two tornadoes today. Had some reports that we might have had some unwarned tornadoes. We're keeping a close eye on it. They won't be unwarned anymore. We'll put it like that because we'll be on it, watching. We catch them for the most part. I mean, they might still get unwarned, but I will warn you if they do. We said all 4 community shelters in the alleys, no tornado shelters near you, near Hartsville, Indiana, where we had an EF2 last week. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a weird thing. We hear the stories quite often, right? And we see the tornadoes happening. We see the news, and I feel like the public reaction to storms and tornadoes is a lot more accurate than like politicians. I don't know why. I don't know why cities, don't, you know, prioritize stuff like that. Like especially for trailer parks. Every trailer park should have a shelter. I mean, even with like an 80-mile-per-hour windstorm, I mean that's a couple of trailers potentially fully destroyed. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something. Oh yeah, I wanted to change this camera to maybe not that one. Where is the one? Which one was it? Is it this one? Oh yeah. I don't even know why I keep coming over to this camera. It's only gonna show rain for the most part. I mean, there's gonna be a chance. Like the only way that we're gonna be able to see anything with any of these cameras is if we intercept it like right next to a tornado. Think every community in the southeast should have shelters. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go like um to the most guaranteed no deaths from a storm, just big old storm shelters in every community. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I just don't feel like that's what people want to do. A little bit of rotation here still to the west of, or not what people want to do. It's not what politicians want to do. I mean, our NWS is already getting underfunded, so obviously they don't really think about that as something that's important. And it really doesn't matter which administration it was. Unfortunately, we had cuts last administration. We have more cuts this administration. The NWS and the NOAA have been slowly whittled away at for really the past 5 years to a decade. When really all they need, what they really need is increased budget. That would mean more radars, less radar holes, better models, better accuracy. You see people complain all the time, about forecast accuracy. Well, if you want better accuracy, we need more funding. Still a little area of rotation here in Folk, Arkansas. Let's come back up to Wisconsin real quick. And the good news is we're not expecting tornadoes up here, but definitely some plinks and planks out here of that with that hail. And this is most likely hail that's not big enough to like break a window, but maybe some paint chips on your car is certainly going to be possible. Some small dents. So if you live over here near Hawthorne and like Iron River, you still have time technically to bring your car indoors. Sunday is going to get nuts. I don't know. I'm still not convinced on Sunday. I'm still not convinced. I think that we still need to see. Because the main thing about Sunday is here. If you guys don't know, so tomorrow there's a conditional risk. But then after that Sunday we have a pretty large enhanced risk. I think this enhanced risk is well placed. Some large to very large hail, some significant damaging winds will be definitely in the realms of possibilities. But as far as the tornado threat, the wording that they used on their morning update, yeah, this should increase the potential for discrete storms and strong tornadoes. I mean, I think tornadoes will technically be possible. Is it a definite of a threat yet to be able to, be like, yeah, I mean, it's we should have a 10% hash risk. I think it's right now still kind of a conditional thing, not because of what every model is showing. It's just that all models are not really agreeing right now. So that's why I'm a little bit uncertain. It's not like they're not showing that potential. Tight little area of rotation now to the west of Florian. That's actually pretty close. Circulation, like, oh, okay, well, it's gone now. But there was, for a moment there, almost a tornado. And thank you, Terry Graves, for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you so much. If you guys get a membership from Terry, make sure you're thanking her. And thank you, Dave, for the $10 as well. Did the math and the AI with the AI other day with the app. Distributed weather across phones. We need 10,000 people to use it. Would cover downtown and equal NOA super. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. 10,000 people. That's a lot of people to sign up for that program. And every one of those computers would be maxed out. So all those 10,000 people would have to like agree to have their computer be basically frozen. Yeah. I mean, ooh, gotta watch this area here south of Palmetto that might be trying to do something. Keep an eye on that. We shall keep an eye on that. We can actually get a camera out in front of that. So let's do that. Let's do that really quick. Yeah, just east of Shreveport. Yeah, we're not going to see anything. But if a tornado does happen, technically, if we get close enough, we will see it. But I'm not promising anything on our camera views. And I still don't think we have any tornadoes. Let me check Severe Studios real quick and see if they got any chasers in the areas. I'm also going to be more transparent about like some of these amounts because honestly, if it was up to me, I could easily just do weather radar and feel like I'm doing my job. But I think a lot of you guys like to see the storm. But I'm telling you guys right now, storm chasers are charging more uh, for their stuff. So we're gonna have to change our strategy a little bit. We're getting outpriced. We got those big old channels that are paying lots of money and it's inflating the prices. We got storm chaser inflation going crazy. Need to answer for your safety. Not really worried about y'all. That's selfish, Axel. What the heck? Need to answer for my safety. Y'all could just screw off. That's what Axel just said in chat. Why? That's just mean. All right, latest scan here near Folk. Still a little area of rotation up there. Still not very strong. I'm not like overly concerned with it. Kind of an interesting signal to its south. I think that's clear air. Yeah, it is. You might be on cam duty later. Yeah, well, just let me know. Let me know when you do that. We definitely have some trolls in chat. That is for sure. The latest scan over here near Palmetto, still not really getting overly organized just yet. Looks like they are continuing that severe thunderstorm warning up in Wisconsin. Yeah, still the same thing. 1-inch hail. And board members, and you can easily interact with all chasers. Yeah, that's the thing, man. You would think that YouTube weathermen would be more open to collaboration, but we're really not. I don't know why. I don't mind it, especially on these bigger days. Man, I would love to just have a 4-hour shift and take a break and not have to stream 24 hours and then let somebody else take the reins. But uh you know, I've asked around, but there's really not that many weathermen I really want to work with. I just don't think I could work with somebody that like shouts on all their thumbnails and stuff. So that really limits the amount of people I can pick from. But I'm always looking for it. It's over for Houston. Yeah, I think yeah. And the rain most of Houston, yeah, should be out of that rain and thunderstorm threat. But that is moving into Baytown now. Hey, where'd my cam go? It done did disappear. There we are. Fearmongers, yeah. I feel, honestly, like that kind of stuff. Like, if it's not like like hurting anybody, I get why it's a thing, but I cannot work with those people personally. That's just that's how I roll. Yeah, still weird little area of rotation here near Folk. Still pushing up to the north. Is it like personally? It just annoys the crap out of me. But I know, like, I do my own forecasting. That's the thing. Like, people don't do their own forecasting, so they don't know who's fear mongering and who isn't most of the time. That is the whole problem. Oh, yep. Latest scan here. This storm is trying to wrap up. Just to the east of Curtis. This is going to be coming up, kind of just to the east of Shreveport. Let me see where its trajectory is. It's weird. It's kind of going like in this direction. Hmm. Yeah, maybe over there near I-20. Definitely keeping an eye on this storm. It's trying to wrap up a little bit. You can definitely tell we're getting those greens to be a little bit more brighter there. Reds still aren't overly strong, so that's why there's probably not a tornado warning on it. But it's definitely an area to watch. See if it'll try to spin up. No tornado, not right now, but that could change. The environment is still technically favorable. I mean, surprisingly favorable. I mean, it's not like we're dealing with like a very weak environment right now. I mean, we got like 30 to 40 knots of shear. That's enough to even support a strong tornado. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's technically in the realms of possibilities. Yeah, I'm stuck. Yeah, I had to refresh it. For some reason, every now and then, this is the camera just to the west of Shreveport. So we should hopefully be able to get a view of this storm if it does try to spin up, if we need it. A wee woo on the camera. Yep. Not sure what he's doing over there. And I'm not sure if he's trying to arrest somebody or what. Can't really see too well. Oh, the cams suck? I mean, they do. There's no arguing with that. Traffic cameras are not as good as a storm chaser. That is for sure. We do not. I mean, I don't think we got any storm chasers in this area though. So I'll check Live Storms Media, but I haven't been able to get an agreement with them yet with their chasers. And I know Brett's not wasting his time out there, even though it's technically not wasting the time. But storm chasers just don't like. For a storm chaser, chasing these storms is a waste of time. They're out there to see a storm. That is their whole purpose. And this is the exact kind of storm that you would chase if you didn't want to see a storm. It's just so much rain around these storms, which is also something that people, on the ground need to be keeping in mind. If you're one of those people that, think you need to see the tornado before you take yourself safe spots, there's a very decent chance that if a tornado does happen, embedded in this ring, you're just not going to see it. I mean, you can see by our cameras, just nothing. Could be good forecasters. I'm not gonna lie, the ones that I see clickbaiting, most of them actually kind of suck at forecasting. They don't really go that in depth, and I think there's a reason why they don't. Because they kind of know some of the things, but they just don't know the details. Oh, we just got a new tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
A new tornado warning has been issued over here near Houghton, in and along and near I-20. That's going to be for this area of rotation that is continuing to strengthen here. It is continuing to strengthen. So if you live near Oakland, Houghton, Bodcow Park, Espinita, Marywood, Fillmore, Princeton, Brookhaven Estates, you guys all need to be in your safe spots as that pushes up to the north and east. Because that is getting close to trying to produce a tornado. You can raise a bunch of money on a non-storm day by letting people donate and give a town name to pronounce. Yeah, that's something that I would want to do eventually. I mean, we do have a link if you guys want to donate to Rubicon. They're veteran-led. First link in the description. It's like the only thing where we'll say anything about money, though. I just don't like. I don't really like money, but if it's going to a good cause, obviously, we'll say something about it. But I mean, if I had enough time to run a 501c or enough money to pay somebody to run one, like Ryan does, I'd probably do it for sure. But it takes a lot of resources to pull that off. East side of Shreveport, yeah, that's the one we are looking at here. So if we come over to our map, let me see if we got any further to the east. Yeah, this is our furthest east one here. East side of Shreveport. That's where we're watching. We'll see if we see anything. Did not expect. Yeah, not many people did. This was kind of like a last minute thing that kind of got organized. I mean, it was conditional, very conditional. Models really weren't. I would say this lower level shear is definitely stronger than I expected, and what a lot of the models progged for today. So yeah. Yeah, our latest scan still has a decent area of rotation here north of Sligo. Still no debris signature on this storm, but that is moving up to the north towards Bocow Park. Again, you guys need to continue to be respecting the storm and continuing to be in your safe spots. You do kind of get it. Yeah. I get it for things that aren't related to weather, but again, like I've said this 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. It's just um, I've like actually been to ground zero, and to continue. I mean, like those people, like people. There are so many people there with storm anxiety too, and like you're playing with their emotions. Like I don't think people that you know aren't really scared of storms. They probably don't care about clickbait, but like people that have storm anxiety, like you're just keeping them in like a constant state of fear. Like that might be something here north and east of Sligo. Just not a good enough signal for me to say anything for certain, but I mean there is a decent rotation there. So thank you, Mark, for gifting one membership. I do appreciate that. We have a lot of radar holes. Yeah. It's not as bad as some states, I will say. I mean, I'm not having a hard time finding these rotations, which is good. But this radar hole up like over here, like near Monroe, that one's annoying. And then further up to the north into like Arkansas, like this radar hole over here, that one's super annoying. That one always annoys the crap out of me. Little area of rotation. Is there a storm there? Yeah. Little area of rotation here in Arkansas, just to the west of Amity. That could just be upper level rotation though. Let me check from this radar. Yeah, not as strong on this radar, so I'm gonna keep an eye on. And Roadies in the radar. Yeah, so does like Texarkana. I think radar and Texarkana would be really good. Yeah, that one sucks because we do actually get a lot of like decent risks up here in this area, and we can never track them that well on radar. Like one, like right here, either in Texarkana or like over here, just to the north and east of Paris, would be perfect. That would close that radar hole up and really give a lot of folks out here some better radar coverage. Because when we're watching storms out here, we're usually relying on like storm chaser reports. Like you'll see some decent rotation, but we're usually so far away from the radar. Let's see. Yeah, you're looking like 13,000 feet up into the storm. So you'd actually need a pretty decently strong rotate or tornado to even see like a debris ball in the first place. And whenever I'm like monitoring a storm up here, it's the same thing is always said. It's just like, oh yeah, I mean there seems to be rotation, but we don't know if that's making it down to the surface or not. Latest scan here, still an area of circulation here south and west of Houghton. A little bit on the weak side, not as strong as it was. Broader circulation is starting to build in here, but still enough, I think, to be in your safe spots for there in Bodcow Park, Mary Woods, Espinita Village, Brookhaven Estates, Fillmore, Princeton. Do Skywarn training. Yeah, that's a good thing. Just in general, like just kind of getting like an understanding of what, how to read a basic understanding on how to read radar and how to spot stuff in real time. You know, you can make storm reports and stuff, and that's always helpful. The more people that we have Skywarn trained, the better, in my opinion. Just learn more about them. Yeah, I mean that's about the best thing you can do. Is like if you do suffer from storm anxiety, sometimes it's due to PTSD. It's kind of hard to get over that, but if it's just general storm anxiety and you haven't really experienced anything that bad, yeah, one of the best ways to get over that is just by learning about the storms, learning how they work. Learning which ones are dangerous and which ones are not. Does every tornado warning mean you're about to die? No, actually, it does not. Sometimes you do get tornado warnings and there's not a whole lot of rotation, or there's a little bit of rotation. Tornado warning happens and then it dies. Kind of learning how to spot that on radar could be helpful in like moderating that anxiety. Also, just knowing the statistics is probably also helpful for folks with storm anxiety. Like, very rarely, very, very rarely when there is a severe thunderstorm warning, like with 1 inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, does somebody die. Even with like an 80-mile-per-hour windstorm, if you're sheltered in place, very rarely do people actually die from that. Now, your house might get some damage or there could be some flying debris. It's a little bit more likely with an 80-mile-per-hour windstorm and not as likely with the 60-mile-per-hour one. But kind of like knowing which ones are like actually going to like, the word I use is all heck breaks loose. Learning those kind of storms is usually important. And then how to distinguish those, like, because like, in all honesty, the 1 inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour windstorms are mainly for people outside. To be honest, as long as you're indoors and away from your windows, the chances of survival are like almost 100%. This is the view out of west or eastern Shreveport. We're actually pretty close to this circulation. It's about to cross over the road here. And I think we're looking towards where the storm would be passing in front of us. So we'll see if we see anything. I don't have high hopes, though, because again, these storms are completely surrounded by rain. But if we're close enough, we might see something. There's not a tornado on the ground, though, with the storm right now. A little bit of wind. You can see that little pole is shaking a little bit. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the best way, though, to moderate storm anxiety is to find a good weatherman that actually cares about you. Because, if you follow the wrong one, they're just going to keep you in a constant loop of fear and you'll just be a mess. Yeah, still a decent area of rotation here. Just our camera's right here, by the way, looking in this direction. That rotation is going to come very close to our camera. And there's a reason why we have the camera there. So if you live in Bodcow Park and Espinita Village, you should be in your safe spots. If we see anything, we'll let you know for sure. So we just got a new update on our tornado warning. Still radar indicated. Expires in 30 minutes. No, I mean local weathermen usually do a pretty good job moderating fear. Some of them are just as bad though. Yeah, the camera is no, I think it's looking east. Yeah. It has this little inlet, it's right here. Right? See that road on the camera? It like goes like this. And so I think it's like located right here. And then there's this little inlet that it's looking at. I think. I guess it could technically be looking in this direction, but I don't think it'd be angled like that. It lines up more with it looking to the west or to the east. Yeah, still waiting on that latest scan to come in. Did you get things ready for Sunday? Yeah. I mean, some damaging winds are certainly going to be a pretty big possibility up there. So, yeah, I would definitely be at least making a plan. The latest scan, that rotation is just off the road here. We're still dealing with some broad circulation. I still don't think there's a tornado on the ground with this right now. But again, sometimes these storms can spin up quite quickly. So if you live in Mary Woods, Crestwood Heights, Dogwood Acres, Oak Thicket Acres, Espinita Village, again, just to the east of Shreveport, continue to be in shelter. Looks like that rain is clearing out a little bit, actually, as this rotation approaches. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could be facing either direction. I'm not gonna lie. To me, though, it looks like it's looking east, as far as I can tell. I just don't know. Oh wow! Hey, winds are picking up as this storm comes through here. Camera's starting to shake a little bit. The camera's facing west. Yeah, we have people in here saying it's facing east, facing west. Let me see if I can find like a definite thing that can indicate that. I don't know how. I mean, as far as I could tell, it could be facing either direction because it does look like the same way. The same thing on either side. That's you. Will be in your safe spots there in Dogwood. The good news is that there's not a tornado on the ground at this present moment, but that doesn't mean it won't try to spin up, as it gets over I-20. So just be safe and be in your safe spots. You live 3 miles from it. You think it's facing west? Okay. All right. Most people think it's facing west, which would be the wrong direction. It's called the Cyber Warfare Center. Cameras facing Texas. Okay, that would be west. We got another person saying it's facing east. I don't know, man. All we can do is watch it and see if something's going to happen. That's pretty much all we can do. Our circulation should be passing pretty close to this camera by now. See if I can get the radar up here. And there. Oh, wow. Yeah, winds are definitely picking up. Rain's getting a little heavier. Not worried about those things. Check the latest velocities. Yeah, still a little area of rotation here. No debris signature though, but it's just over the road right now. Oh yeah, near Wisconsin. Is that still going on? Let's go check back up with it. Nope. And they allowed the severe thunderstorm warning to expire. Yeah, it was a very interesting storm. We had a severe thunderstorm warning on the south, and up to the north, there was like icing. It appeared and snow. This is a very, very small window for just one storm. Pretty interesting. And thank you, Blessed Man, 777 for the $4. I appreciate that. Why are all my old streams gone? Because I made a big mistake. I did a search about 2 years ago, and the search said that if nobody is controlling the camera, it is not copyrightable. And I used that for 2 years using webcams all across the country, never got copyrighted, not once, for 2 whole years. And then I got copyrighted on one live stream. And funny thing was, it was actually my local news station. It was WAFF. And I had to delete all the videos just to make sure my channel is safe. Made a mistake. I mean, like, there's so many people that do the same thing, but I just don't think like news people pay attention. And apparently that's not allowed. So I don't know. I don't like honestly, I still don't know to this day if that's true or not, if it is allowed or not allowed. As far as I can tell, to find the answer, I'd have to like get a lawyer or something like that, and I don't have enough money for that. So yeah, everybody does that. Yeah, a lot of people do it, and apparently it's just not allowed. Like there were so many things that told me that it was okay to do, um, but it's not. And so we've had to completely rework our entire infrastructure according to that, just to make sure that we keep the channel safe. Because if you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel's gone. Latest scan here, rotation does seem to be fading. It does seem to be fading here. Go check around some of our other areas just to make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, still looking good. Further down to the south, we'll come back down here. Still looking good down there. We'll come back over to Arkansas where we did have this little scraggly storm. Yeah. And this is really our only area of interest right now. I do kind of wonder if these storms will do anything, but they're not really maturing, so I think they're just outside of our main axis of instability. Our instability is really just like a very small area here. Did I see your message? On where? Videos keep me going. I'm less stressed when we watch you because, well, student friend, I consider you a brother of mine. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I try to do my best and just keep it like yes, sometimes my titles and okay, yeah, that's just the updated tornado warning. That's not a new one. But they just updated it and changed the polygon. I try to keep it like the messaging like in accordance to like certainty. Like if there does look like there could be a bigger storm and a stronger storm, but the certainty is low, I'll usually just kind of make the certainty the main point of my title and my thumbnail, while still highlighting the areas where it's possible. But um, I usually up the language though in accordance to certainty. So if we're like in the 3-day range, which is usually when models are starting to get more accurate, we're starting to get a better picture of things, and it's still looking dangerous, that's when my wording will start to match what the SPC is saying. But I usually hold off until more certainty. I don't like to cry wolf because if you get a model run that looks all big and bad, right? Yeah, I can't tell you how many times we get those model runs happen and then nothing happens. Kind of like what happened, like literally what happened back over here near Seattle and Tacoma. Looked like looked like we were going to get like some gorilla hail out here, some like 2.75 inch to 3 inch hail, and there was actually 0 storm reports. It does happen, and so you got to be careful with your messaging because if you cry wolf too many times, people just stop trusting you. You really, and I feel like it's really helped, um, my audience kind of understand when I put a lot of focus on that certainty and telling them, when we're getting in that range of accuracy and what can possibly change in the different scenarios and what the different models are saying. Because then, when the storms don't go as the averages were saying, they know kind of why. Like it wasn't a sure bet. Like, that's why I never say definite words until I'm pretty confident about it. Yeah, this is weather wise. Latest scan here, those greens are kind of returning, but we're still dealing with some broad circulation here. You can see we got greens here, reds to the south, but we do have these grays still in between the two. So we still got some broad circulation. Broad circulations do not produce tornadoes. It's always the tighter ones. So still not thinking a tornado is imminent with this storm, and it continues to show the same kind of look to it. They'll probably allow this tornado warning to expire. But we'll see. I still think folks in like the northern portion of this warning, near Bellevue Road, north of Dogwood Acres, should still be in their safe spots. Folk is looking fine. We were worried about your storm for a little bit. Well, actually, yeah, folk is fine, but this storm is actually picking up a little bit. Trying to pick up a little bit more rotation. Further up to the north there. I'm not sure if that's a legitimate signal or not, given the fact that, unfortunately, if we take a little thing here, we're looking at this storm like 6,000 feet above the surface. So, this it could be surface-based rotation, or it might not be. And it's kind of hard to tell if this is side lobe contamination or not because we just got such a blocky view to our radar. But it seems like there's rotation aloft. And if that makes it down to the surface, that could be a dangerous storm there. So we're keeping an eye. But as you can see, focus is to the south of that storm. So you guys are good to go. I mean, by the time any other storms get to you, the instability is going to be gone and you're just going to be getting some rain. You have a professional opinion on what causes all this craziness? What do you mean by craziness? Side lobe contamination is essentially when the radar is scanning the wrong part of the storm. So the radar's down here, it's sending out a bunch of beams in different levels of the atmosphere. And sometimes that beam hits something and it bounces back, and that radar thinks it's somewhere else where it shouldn't be. And so it comes up as like a strong signal, right? But the best way to tell the difference is if you get like, let's say like we had like some strong rotation out over here, but our storm's over here, that doesn't make any sense. So that would be side lobe contamination. But if that rotation is located associated with the our reflectivity here, which is these greens and reds indicating stronger rain or heavier rain, then usually we're confident that that's an actual rotation. But a lot of times we do see those false signals in the inflow of a storm, and that's usually because some of the radar beam is scanning the storm a little bit higher up than it should, and it comes back as a false signal. Or it could be caused by hail. There's hail contamination that can cause fake signals as well, making it seem like the storm is rotating when it's really not. Is the derider area in the area of instability? Yes. Technically, you guys are. I think you guys are, but I think you guys are a little. Aren't you guys a little bit further to the south? Where's derider? It was like right around here, is it not? I know it's somewhere in this area. And you guys are in that area of instability, yeah. But as of right now, it's just kind of looking a mess around you. I don't think this tornado threat's going to last for very long. But we might get like still some storms that might try to spin up a bit, like at least in the short term here. And there goes our tornado warning. We're now back down to 0 tornado warnings. We will take that. Side lobe contamination is a great band name. Yeah, that'd be interesting. What genre of music would that be? I guess I could see that being like a heavy metal band. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it does seem like this is in the inflow of the storm, but again, we're really far away from this storm, so it's hard to tell. That's just to the east of Texarkana. Yeah, definitely metal. I think we can all agree on that. All right, I asked somebody to explain further. Let me see if they said anything on that. The catastrophic weather events and fires. I mean, the obvious answer to that is global warming, but yeah, I mean, this is obvious. So, but that's like a whole explanation. That's why I hate saying it. Not because, but like it's something like because people are going to start asking a bunch of questions. But I do actually know a lot about it. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. Even if you're skeptical of it, you might have a question that you want answered. Feel free to ask anytime. We talk about it on this channel. I mean, it's a lot of explaining though, and that's an answer that I would definitely ignore during an intense live stream with like a lot of tornadoes on the ground because I just wouldn't have time to give you like a big answer on it. And there's some beans out there, but not there's really not too many areas of rotation, associated with literally like any of these beans right now. But there is some bean looking things out there for sure. But I never really give them too much attention because it's just like if there's no rotation on it, I don't need to be talking about it. Beans don't mean much unless they have rotation. Monroe, you got some thunderstorms. You're definitely going to probably get some thunderstorms today. You guys are mostly outside of that tornado risk, so I'm not really overly concerned with Monroe, unless this storm does something weird. Have you seen any impact from the NOAA staff reductions on available data and info? Yeah, we're getting less. I forget which exact station or NWSs it is, but we're like some of them have just completely canceled their balloon launches and only will release special balloon launches if needed. So yeah, that's not good. What else? And just sloppier management and time management, and you know, probably sloppier warning issuance. The lack of weather balloons will affect our model accuracy. You got to understand, when you have less staff, you're gonna have a lot more tired workers doing more shifts. So it's definitely gonna get sloppier, which kind of sucks. Or does it kind of suck? It really sucks. You know. Thank you, Karen, for subscribing. Thank you so much. Did you answer the question to the super chat you sent? No, I'm just kidding. I'll do it. Let me. I don't see your super chat. Might not have went through. Let me. Yeah, Anthony or. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. I think Saturday can be a 5% tornado risk. Yeah, I think so. I think it's possible, but the main thing that's going to a little bit of wind happening over here. But the main thing what would have to happen is increased confidence on the cap breaking, and there's just not a whole lot of confidence on that. And in fact, the confidence is pretty low. It seems like chances are, at least according to the models, which they could be off, but the chances are pretty low that the cap actually breaks tomorrow. But I'll still be watching it just in case. And if the cap does break, it will probably act like a 5% tornado risk. I don't think the shear is strong enough to support like a strong tornado. Maybe a little bit of a conditional threat. I think it's mostly going to be, on the weaker side of tornadoes, hopefully, if the cap does break. But again, the cap's going to be really strong. Today's the big weather day. I mean, it appears so. Yeah. It appears so. I mean, if we come over to our latest outlook, I mean, it definitely has everybody's attention. I mean, again, still for me at least, still some pretty low confidence on our strong tornado threat. But even without the strong tornado threat, anywhere where significant winds will be possible or very large hail would be enough to, issue an enhanced risk. So it's going to be over a pretty widespread area. A lot of folks are going to see severe weather going into Sunday. So yeah, Sunday's kind of looking like the big day, at least for this week, and then going into next week. We might actually have another storm after that. I'm not sure if many of you guys have heard, but we do have a day 6 again. And this storm, not going to say much about it, but the ensembles are definitely pointing to this storm potentially being stronger than our day 3 storm, which is where that enhanced risk is. So we'll have to see how it pans out as it gets closer. Obviously, the models will change, but at least on the ensemble look, in comparison to what this storm looked like on the ensembles, definitely seems like maybe a little bit of a stronger storm. Let's go check for some more rotations. Yeah, still looking good. We'll check back over on this storm. Yeah, that rotation has completely died off. We still have this little guy though, south of Fulton, Arkansas. Let me see if there's a camera all the way up there. I know we have some near Texarkana, but I don't think we have that far to the north and east. We do have some in Hope. Oh, okay. This is like right near Fulton. Okay. Let's see if we can see the storm. A couple of cameras in this area, so let me cycle through them. One's facing east. Probably not the right direction. The storm's really going over this camera, to be honest. Yeah. Most likely. Your threat's mainly going to be for damaging winds, kind of like the last thing we covered in the Philly area. Um, it's going to be kind of similar to that. A line of damaging winds are going to be possible. Yes, we will be doing a Q&A stream tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Central tomorrow. So mark it on your calendar. We'll be going live tomorrow. We'll do a live forecast, answer some questions, and all that kind of stuff for you guys. Do I think it could be stronger than 3? No. No. The storm that's coming on a Sunday is nothing compared compared to the storms we had on 314, 315. Nothing compared to that. More instability technically, but the wind shear is just a lot weaker with this storm. And a lot of our winds are parallel, meaning we're going to be in more in a linear mode. There will be chances for tornadoes though. So it's definitely a day you want to be weather aware, but it's not going to be like all hell breaks loose most likely. But we still have time for the models to change. If again, the NAM came in kind of bullish, and the question kind of on my mind right now is, does the NAM hold on to its solution? It's actually already kind of backed off of its solution a little bit today. And we haven't really seen many models kind of strengthen. So the trend it's really not changing too much. The instability is going to be, there is going to be some wind shear, but it's going to be on like the mid range to lower end of wind shear. So the mid range to lower end of spin. So technically we could still have a strong tornado threat. It'll just be a little bit more conditional. But they will technically be possible. And also, long track supercells with some large to very large hail, it seems like almost a guarantee with this next event. But that's going to be more relegated to like the southern mode of that severe weather risk. It's going to be kind of like a dual, well, we call it a double barrel severe weather event. You have a hail threat down here, and our tornado threat will most likely be up in this region. In a marginal, this is actually a slight risk. They actually did a last minute upgrade to a slight risk with a 5% tornado chance, which it did verify. We did get potentially more than one tornado already today. Scans are painfully slow. Yeah, I mean they're coming in. Come back up here. Check back in on this storm. We'll watch this storm come through this camera, see what we see. We potentially had a couple tornadoes today. One definitely that I saw with my eyeballs, but someone was telling me earlier that, or help was telling me earlier that there could have been a couple of unwarned tornadoes today. Do we have any tornadoes near Rochelle and Chicago? I think you guys will be in a tornado risk. I'm a little bit uncertain on whether or not it's going to be a 2% or a 5%. I'm leaning more toward 2%, but they're, really just depends on where the models converge tonight going into tomorrow morning. If tomorrow is going to be when we have our first tornado risk from the SPC. Did you seek shelter? No, no one needs to seek shelter right now. We're monitoring this storm. This is actually in Arkansas, north and east of Texarkana. Does have a little bit of mid-level circulation. We're trying to see if we can see anything, just the storm in general. Okay. The storm is about to pass the road. Let me just make sure we're on the closest cam. I just kind of want to see if there's any. I mean, this is the closest one we got here. Whoa! There's your storm. First storm we've seen all day. I am surprised. Not seeing any wall clouds yet, but it's passing over the road right now. Area of circulation, so maybe it's to the right of the camera still. And this one has rotation aloft. The reason why I'm trying to get like a good camera view on this storm is because I want to see if that's making it down to the surface. That might be the base of the storm, just on the right side, like behind the trees there. Or it could be what we're looking at the center of the screen. Does Juliet have a 10% hatched region? They don't. Well, I mean, and on the technically on the what's it called? Like it's a hatched region for significant severe weather when it's on day 3. It's that's not for tornadoes yet. Oh, are they not net significant, Rich? Let me check on that. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Juliet would be pretty darn close to that 10% hatched, but it's a 10%, it's a 15% hatched for significant severe weather. And that could end up being damaging winds, or that could end up being a tornado risk. But I most likely I would say it's the damaging wind threat. Let's go back over to Fulton, see what the storm looks like from there. I don't have a view. This is our only view of the storm right now. There's a little something underneath this storm. Not seeing a whole lot of movement under there, though. But that is the base. Still mentally recovering. I'm still physically recovering from that. What is that? Got some lower clouds about to cross right over the road here. Could be Scud. There's a little bit of movement under there, but the shot here is so pixelated. I honestly can't tell you. Oh, if that's rotation or not. Let me see if we can get like a camera maybe like a little bit further away from this area. I have a little bit more of a wider view on the storm. Oh, it's too far. Is it like right above the road? It does kind of look like there's like kind of looks like a funnel, but that could also just be Scud. Let me check the radar. I mean, there is rotation indicated on radar. Yeah, it's not there anymore. So that was probably likely just Scud. It's always hard to tell with these traffic cameras what these storms are doing because you really can't see much. You really need a high definition camera to like see like a decent area of rotation. Like it's really easy to do in Florida because their traffic cameras are a lot higher definition. But Arkansas's cameras are probably like 480p. Sky turns green in storms sometimes because of hail. When the sunlight passes through a storm and then passes through the hail, it releases a different spectrum of light. Oh, it's an interesting looking storm. I'll show you guys the radar here. So this is the storm we're looking at here. Oh yeah. I mean, that's pretty darn close. That might have been a funnel we just looked at there. That's associated with the storm. That's a pretty decent area of rotation aloft. This is in Arkansas, uh, near Fulton, Arkansas. It's like the southwestern portion of Arkansas. No debris signature though. I mean, we didn't see a tornado, but that's what we're looking at here. And it just crossed in front of our camera. That might have been a funnel or could have been scud, but there's definitely some decent rotation aloft with this storm. It can be blue. It can even be like a weird yellow color. Um, just really depends. You know, I think different sizes of hail can refract light a little differently sometimes. Got a new mesoscale discussion. I don't think I have that screen set up. All right, let me get this screen. Oh, it's kind of set up. Yeah, it looks like isolated tornado and wind damage threat will likely continue for another hour or two. So we're pretty close to the end here, but we still have a storm here that's worth keeping an eye on near Fulton. I mean, I'm surprised honestly that it's not warned. They might not be warning it because of just how far away it is from the radar, but I mean that's a decent area of rotation. Let me take this camera down, put this camera under me. As how it scores later in the season, throw some crazy colors. Yeah, they really do. And when we had a decent hailstorm that came up here. Oh, there's that tornado warning. New tornado warning has just been issued for this storm near McNabb, Towlett, and Mineral
A
Springs.
new tornado warning has been issued.
You guys need to be going into your safe spots. This is in Arkansas, which is well north of our risk for today. But these storms have been. This is a trend. These storms that are further north. I've been tapping into a little bit more rotation. It might have been a funnel. Maybe could have been a funnel. We saw there. Who knows? And it's a radar indicated tornado warning, but there's some decent rotation here, just to the north and west of Fulton. Heading towards McNabb, not seeing a debris signature. There's a pretty decent likelihood that this tornado will. There's a chance that it could be on the weaker side, and given how far away we are, there's a pretty decent likelihood that we will not see a debris signature with this storm, even if it does have a tornado on the ground. And this is the storm right here. This is it. It's past the road now. Actually, we can bring it up. Let's bring it up to Fulton. See if we have a better view from Fulton yet. Oh, yeah. Something's here. Here, the Red River. I think this one's facing the wrong. I think they're both facing the wrong way, though. Yeah, they're both eastbound, unfortunately, so they're facing the wrong way. We had a westbound camera out of Fulton. That would be showing us something. But this is our best view of the storm right now. The latest scan here south of McNabb. We don't really have it in yet. Let's go check down here further to the south, make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, the storms down here are still struggling to rotate. It's been a while since we've actually seen something concerning down here. I'm kind of curious what these storms might end up doing, but so far we haven't seen any attempts at tornadoes with those guys yet. West Carroll Parish. No. I mean, if you're in any of the parishes, your tornado risk is pretty low. Probably most likely just rain and thunderstorms, especially if you live like in this area. If you live like further back here, we haven't seen any rotation with any of these storms back here for the duration of this event. I don't think those are going to be the ones we need to watch. Mainly like some of these storms in this area, they've been spinning up a little bit, and then up here, further up to the north, near Texarkana, or north and east of Texarkana, I should say, moving away from Texarkana. Yeah. Over here near McNabb, we just got our latest scan in. Still a decent area of rotation. Now just about to head right into McNabb. Next in line is going to be Towlett, Ozon, and Mineral Springs. It looks way weaker. Yeah, Little Rock radar is a lot farther away, though. So, I mean, you're looking like, yeah, 15,000 feet up into the storm. Let me change the velocity units to miles per hour. Miles per hour. But yeah, I mean, that's not the best radar. I mean, we're still looking pretty high up into the storm with this radar, but we're looking 8,000 feet. So at least we're looking a little bit closer to the surface. But we're still not looking at surface rotation. There's no guarantee that this is near the surface, although it kind of seemed like it did. It was kind of closer to the surface, that rotation, as it passed over 30. So that still could be the case as this moves into McNabb. Certainly has some tornadic potential. How's Chaz and Jojo Bean? Well, I actually saw Jojo Bean the other day. He's still happy pappy as always. And Chaz, he broke his nail recently, so we've been dealing with that. But other than that, I mean, like Chaz is weird. Like this is like the third time he's broken his nail, and also the third time where it's like it doesn't even affect him, as he's just running around, jumping around everywhere as usual. But I'm sure it hurt. And he's been getting extra lubbins. Crazy doggo. Yeah. Crazy and cute. Cam setup? Nah. I show them off every now and then when people really beg me, but just don't want to use my dog for views, I guess. My dog does not have anything to do with weather. He's just a cutie pie. It'd be like putting your like having a baby cam. Like this is weird. Like I get it, your baby's cute, but like, what does that got to do with weather? Moving away, that's moving towards. That's nothing. Not the dog's fault. He's cute. That is true. All right, latest scan here north of McNabb. We still got a little. Oh, we still got some rotation. It appears, but as you can see, we're getting a weird thing happen. We're getting a lot of data missing right where that rotation is. So I don't have a good lock on it, but as far as I can tell, we still have that area of rotation here north of McNabb, heading towards Columbus and Saratoga here in Arkansas. And again, if you're just not tuning in, this tornado warning is located here in southwestern Arkansas. And that is true. My dog does hang around my feet. That wouldn't really work. Yeah, I mean, it should be able to pick it back up here shortly, but unfortunately, yeah, we're kind of losing sight of the storm. Oh, hmm, okay, weird. Not sure how I feel about that. This is how it feels to be in a tornado warning, I guess. It is interesting. I'm not really sure how useful it is for literally anything, but it's a cool feature. This is the 3D mode on weather-wise. It's just it kind of doesn't really have a purpose though. When you move it, you see how it moves the storm closer to Nashville than it actually is. So it's kind of just a gimmick, but it's cool. Fell through the map. Really, that's what happened. Latest scan here, still a little bit of rotation, still with this storm, and something's popping up there. I don't think that's a tornado, but I can't tell for certain. Again, we're really high. We're looking pretty far up into this storm, so I still want folks to be in their safe spots. What would be really cool is if you did this, right? And then, oh, shoot. Well, one. Okay. If you did this, and then like during tornado warnings, dang it. It's like the sensitivity is crazy on this. Like it'd be really cool if you could do this and there was like rain falling out of the sky. Whoa. The pen does something really weird. Why does it do that? It's like upside down tornadoes. That's interesting. But yeah, but it'd be really cool if there was like rain falling out of the storm. And then like when there was an observed tornado, like if a tornado could like form underneath the storm, that would be useful, like where the rotation is. Are we cool in Little Rock? Yeah, you guys are gonna be good. You guys will be fine. There is gonna be some rain and some thunder eventually trying to approach you though. But yeah, my dream for the future of radar, right, is just like a virtual environment where instead of it's a storm, it's you can tackle it like this, and then you can also actually bring up the storm like in real life, and then like it's got the cumulonimbus. It's reacting to the environment. So like if you wanted to, you could like zoom in to McNabb and see hail bouncing off the road and like stuff like that. And if it's warned for 2-inch hail, then the hail's 2 inches in diameter. Like I think that's where radar is going to eventually go. They're already messing around with the 3D aspect of it, so that's just the next natural step. All right, latest radar scan. Here's our area of rotation. Still don't have a really good view on it, but as far as I can tell, it's still there, heading towards Columbus. So if you live in Columbus, still continue to be in your safe spots. Is Jonesboro? Yeah, Jonesboro's gonna be fine. Let me show you guys. So today's risk. Actually, the wind shear is starting to weaken a little bit too. Just noticed that on the mezzo. Today's risk. We shouldn't even have a tornado warning in Arkansas, but sometimes weather just does what it wants. Also, just noticed our general thunderstorm risk looks like a weird alien. But yeah, I mean, over there in Little Rock, and I mean, you guys are just too far north. Our environment's not going to hang on until it gets to you. So you guys will be all right. 3D recreation. I mean, there's a guy already working on it in Canada. He just has never finished his app. He's never released it to the public. He said beta was coming soon, but it never came. So I'm never sure if it'll actually see the light of day or consumers' hands. But there's a guy in Canada that is actually doing that right now, and he has a working prototype. I've seen it in work. Yeah, it looks like our tornado warning is still radar indicated. Still radar indicated. You're in Discord looking for cams now? Oh. Well. All right. We'll bring that up. Yeah, nothing's popping up for me. Tornado Explorer. A little late for the threat, but better. The no cams, that is true. Well, I mean, I've been finding cams. I've been doing all right. It's not been a really rapid fire day, so it hasn't been too stressful. But when we have like a lot of tornado warnings, I just do not have time. That's when I really need you. Those sirens need cams on them. Would be an interesting thing. Yeah, more cameras, the better. I don't know why the stream's not showing up for me. Let me try joining again. It's gone. All right. Yeah, it's being weird. I just get 3 dots. Okay, as best as I could tell, it kind of looks like the rotation is weakening. There's still a little bit there. We just don't really have great radars here. Unfortunately, I really don't have much information because this is not. I don't think this is an accurate depiction of our rotation right now. We just have this a missing layer of data here, unfortunately. So I would just be in your safe spots to be safe over here in Towlent and Ozone, but there's unfortunately not a whole lot of things I can say about that. Checking in on our neighbor states. Well, that's nice of you, gamer. That rotation in Clarence, Louisiana. We can check Louisiana, just see if I see anything, and if I don't, then it's probably not. Let's see here. Yeah. I found a rotation, and it happens to be right next to Clarence. Is that associated with the storm? It is. And that is rotation near Clarence. You are right about that. It's a little bit on the broad side, but it is rotation. It's a good spot. Good catch. Keep an eye on it. We'll come back down here. Keep checking in on those storms. As far as tornadoes not being overlooked through 2020, Nashville tornado turned into an EF4, started off in a 2%, didn't dissipate until it was in a non-outlooked area. Wow. That is wild. EF4 and a 2%. It does happen sometimes. It does happen. And in fact, we probably had a couple of those last year, but the good news is it didn't really impact anybody, so they were all rated like EF1s. But we had some really strong velocity couplets that kind of happened in the middle of nowhere. And I think some of those were in 2% areas. I still have no idea what this storm is doing. Still kind of seems like there's rotation in this area, but again, it's a really messy signal, unfortunately. If you guys live in this area, like near Hope, Ashton, Texarkana, DeQueen, Nashville, if you ever see like a You ever see like one of your congressmen out about just be like, hey, it'd be really nice if we could get, just a radar down here. Tired of hearing my weatherman say that he has no idea what's happening. Be nice. Most impressive tornado I've seen in an otherwise unfavorable tornadic environment. Definitely like one of these ones. I think it was near Altus. Was it near Altus? I forget where it was. We had just an absolute beast of a tornado somewhere here in Oklahoma. I forget exactly where it was, but it was a very, very strong circulation, pretty much maxed out rotation. Thankfully, it happened in the middle of nowhere and it didn't hit anybody. But I mean, that was like on a day. We call them Cape bombs. It's when you have really high instability and the storm just kind of creates its own outflow boundary. And if it can latch onto that outflow boundary, even though you don't have a whole lot of wind shear, that can still produce strong to violent tornadoes. Hollister? Okay. Yeah, that one was crazy. Where's Hollister? Is it in this area? Somewhere over here. Yeah, that one was super impressive. Really happened. Really happy it didn't really impact many people because that would have been probably like an EF4 or above, just based off of velocity. I mean, the velocities were crazy. Like there was a donut shape to the storm, and it rose all the way to the top of the, almost all the way to the top of the storm, which is just nuts. This is just a nuts storm. Is Sunday downtrending now? Um, the thing is, it never uptrended. That's what I don't get. I don't like there is technically a chance for strong tornadoes. I think like it could technically happen, but the confidence isn't high enough. I don't think so. It never really uptrended. I mean, it's still kind of this. I still have the same thoughts on it. I still think significant damaging winds and large to very large hail is going to be possible. But I was forced to say, I feel like I was forced to say, strong tornadoes were possible. I feel like I would have been a little bit more conditional with it, but I was just kind of, if the SPC has it, I usually say it just to make sure everybody's getting the same message. But I was confused this morning, and I felt like I was forced to talk about strong tornadoes when I'm not that confident in that threat as of right now. But it is technically possible. It's just going to be hard for it to happen. It's going to be conditional. I think our most guaranteed threat is going to be those damaging winds, unless we get an uptrend. If we get an uptrend of that lower level shear, which is kind of and the upper level shear, which is kind of the thing that's, holding back, a widespread tornadic, and strong tornado threat, then, we could see the wording get a little bit more dangerous as we get closer. But as of right now, um, I think what happened was the SPC was looking at the NAM, and the NAM had a particularly dangerous lower level shear. But almost all the other models at the same time weren't saying the same. Like we're saying still the same thing. So, like the NAM was an outlier for tomorrow, and it's probably going to be an outlier for Sunday. If it's going to be an outlier for tomorrow, it means it's got something wrong on the atmosphere. So it's not going to be right the next day either. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, it's just, I cannot tell what's happening with this storm still. We are still in this weird data hole here with this radar. It's more of a nervous laugh, but I mean, if you still live near Yancey, I would be in your safe spots, but I cannot tell you what we're dealing with now. I just don't know. A really bad radar coverage here, unfortunately. Yancey, what? Asking for some nom noms. Is it nom nom time? Yeah, Wednesday looks interesting on the ensembles. Definitely seems like there's potential there, but I mean, it's 6 days out, so It's there today. Will it be there 3 days from now? Who knows? But if it is, if what the ensembles are saying is there 3 days from now, then you're definitely going to see um, some uh, some wording changes for me on that day as well. It's 6 days out. A lot can change. Random storm chaser live in Minnesota right now. Let me see. Let me see if I have access to them at all. I don't think it's going to be worth it, but I'll check it out. And if they're looking at something cool, maybe. Maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. Nope. I do not have access to them. Don't know who it is. People hype up every event. Yeah, that's what they do. And that's what they do best. And those are the most popular people usually. They get the most traffic. So it's easy to fall for. That's just the thing. It's easy to fall for. It's super easy. Fortunately, still no improvement here from our radar scan. I still can't really tell what's going on with this storm. Let's go check back in with that little area of rotation that was happening over here. Yeah, still some broad circulations here. Not very strong or concerning yet, but still keeping an eye on them. This is still technically an area where we have some decent shear. So tornadoes will technically still be possible over there north of Natchitoches. Uncertainties, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen people use titles where they're like, this will be a super bad storm. And it's like 5, 6 days out. Like they're saying it will be. Like they're using definite language. And, yeah. It's been a problem for a while though, and people keep falling for it for a reason. It's because, it's hard. If you don't forecast weather, you don't know if who's lying to you and who's not. And you'll never find out about it. Because in most people's heads, weathermen are always wrong. But there's a difference between a weatherman that's wrong, right, and a weatherman that is deliberately lying to you for money. There's a big difference. And you don't want to follow the ones that are deliberately lying to you for money because they're going to be manipulating you the entire time. You want to avoid those guys. Yes, weathermen are wrong, but weather forecasting is hard, and they'll let you know when it's time to, like, a good weatherman will moderate his language until there's certainty. A bad one will just freak out every single storm, no breaks. Like our tornado warning has expired. Everybody can come out of their safe spots. Check Cushing velocity. Is that this one over here still? Nope. I'll look around and see if I can see anything. Not seeing any velocities really sticking out to me. I mean, these are still the two that stick out to me the most. Like they might have extended a tornado watch. Yeah, for Lake Charles and Vinton. Rose Pine was already in Maryville, I think, was added to this one as well. That's going to be for this portion of the line. We haven't seen anything too crazy with this line yet, and I think the chances are pretty low, but they're probably just throwing you in there just in case. Get people in danger, but that's the thing. No one can tell. Like, if you don't know anything about weather, how are you going to call BS on weather? It's impossible. You're screwed. You're screwed. You're either gonna follow a clickbaiter or a fearmonger or not, and you'll never know until, like, it takes like years. Like, for instance, the Weather Channel was major fearmongers for a while. And I remember there was like this one iconic video where, there's a guy in a hurricane and he's like, oh my gosh, the winds are so strong. It's crazy. He's like leaning forward and stuff. And then someone just like casually walks behind him. Like it takes like moments like that to where like it sinks in, but like just in the forecast of it, like you'll never know because unless you have like a deep understanding of weather, you'll never know who's lying to you or not. And that's why it's such a big problem. And it's been a problem for a long time. Like Weather Channel did that for like a decade and like they got away with it for so long and nobody really knew, but it became obvious after a while and then the word spread and then eventually people caught on to it. It takes a while. And so, but the crazy thing is, people are like, oh, YouTube's such a great source of alternative news, but it's really not. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, kind of the same deal. There's full of people that are greedy and some of them are not. And the greedy ones usually get all the attention, and the ones that really don't give a crap usually fade into the darkness in the background, and no one ever really hears about them, unfortunately. Um, it is what it is. That's the world, though. It's you're talking about the attention economy. What holds attention? Fear. If you're scared, you're not tuning off of a live stream. If you feel fear, you're not tuning off to our live stream. Like, obviously, I'm not sitting here. If I wanted to, this is what I could do, right? And this is how that I'm not here to mess with you guys. But if I wanted to, I could be like, oh, watch out. Even though that these areas of rotation are kind of weak, I could do this. I can be like, well, watch out. These storms, you can see, there's some rotation here. If you live in Goldana and Ashland, watch out. This could eventually go tornado warned in like 3 hours. So watch out. Maybe at any time. At any time. Oh, that's the better word. At any time, this storm could go tornado warned. But make sure you're still staying here. Even though there's no tornado warnings right now, we'll probably get like 5 billion later. I'm obviously over exaggerating, but you get the point. You want like that. That's what the people that are with that. That's the thing. It's like you don't know. It's impossible to tell when that's actually happening because it's like most people don't know how to read rotation. So how are they going to be able to call BS on? It is impossible for most folks. I feel bad for them, but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. You sent all that rain down here to Florida. I mean, are you sure you want it? I guess. I mean, are y'all in a drought over there? Let me check the drought maps. Maybe y'all need it. I mean, if you're asking for rain in Florida, you guys got to be in some sort of drought. Florida never asks for rain. They usually get way too much of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely some drought happening there in Florida. Yeah, a level 3 drought or severe drought over there near Miami and just north of Tampa, and some moderate drought around those areas. Florida's like, give us rain. Don't ask for rain too much, especially as we get closer to hurricane season, because Mother Nature likes to over exaggerate your requests. You'll want rain until you get too much of it, but yeah, you guys do need some decent rain for sure. Since Hurricane Milton in Florida, at least where you live, in Central Florida. Interesting. How's my week been? Pretty relaxing. Not gonna lie. Golfed a lot. Just enjoying my time off until everything starts to get pretty hectic. Today could have been might be the last day where I actually get to have some time off, and then probably it seems like there's a possibility of like a week of live streams it could start potentially even tomorrow if the cap breaks. So I mean what am I even saying? It's already started. It's already started today. So there's that. Check back over here. Yeah, still some broad circulation, but not really getting organized. All right. Let me feed my dog really quick and let me eat some dinner. There's not a tornado on the ground or any rotation that's concerning me right now. So just give me like a little bit. I'll keep on watching radar. If we get something pop up where it looks like a tornado will be possible again, then I'll go live again. But I feel like we're like pretty darn close, so we might get another tornado warning before today's all said and done. So I'll still keep my eye on the radar. But I gotta eat. This tornado threat kind of came out of nowhere. So I did not plan to go live today, like at all. But yeah. Forecast tomorrow morning for Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. Might talk about Wednesday a little bit more tomorrow. I will look at it on the ensembles a little bit. Just do a little bit of a deeper dive there. And then also a live stream tomorrow as well at 5:30 Central. We'll go live and we'll answer your guys' questions live. You guys in chat, you can ask them after the first initial forecast is done, and then we'll answer them. That's something that we do on this channel. It's pretty unique to us. So if you want something like that, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry this thing did what it did today. Just it happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. I wouldn't, feel like this is going to happen every 2%, but sometimes it does happen. And thankfully I can go live pretty quick. I got a pretty good setup and thumbnail setup, so I can just draw something real quick and set it up real quick. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for trusting me for your weather. Huge shout out to the mods as usual, and you guys hopefully have a good rest of your day. Hopefully you don't see my me again today. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace.